Hello, I'm Dragoș, and in this video we're going to take a look of how you can proxy plausible analytics through Cloudflare workers. You may want to do this because some of the ad blockers will block the plausible script directly. So you may want to proxy this through your own domain, so the ad blockers will not detect the analytics scripts, and in this way you will have all the traffic that it's coming to your website displayed correctly in plausible analytics. This can be used with any website that you have, the static one. Plausible can also be deployed on your own server. I have created in the past some tutorials about this. I'm using a self-hosted version of Plausible. And yeah, in this video we're going to see how we can use Cloudflare workers to proxy Plausible, and I've also created an article in here that you can check that has all of these steps in there. I'm hosting the website in Cloudflare pages. The Cloudflare pages is not having a good way to use the redirect file, so you can put the details there, so that's why you will need to use the Cloudflare workers for this. This can be used with any static websites. I'm using this with Astro, and we're going to check what we need to do in this video. The first thing that we will need to do is to have an Cloudflare account, and this is the workers and pages in the Cloudflare. I'm also having the domain hosted on Cloudflare, so you will need to have your domain hosted on Cloudflare to be able to use the proxy options for these scripts. So in here you have the worker and pages, and what you need to do is to create a new application for this, and in here you have the options to create a worker. We're going to create a worker. In here you have the name of the worker. You can give what name you want, but be careful to not use something like analytics or plausible. That will trigger the ad blockers to know what you have in here. And yeah, after you put the name, you just hit deploy in here. And after, you will need to add the code that will handle the plausible scripts from plausible website or from your self-hosted version of Plausible. You just need to hit the edit code, and in here you have the code editor. And what we are gonna do in here, it will just gonna replace this script with the scripts that will load the plausible ones. So on my website you will find the script in here. Okay, let's go and check the script. So basically this is the script. I will just copy it and I will explain to you what this script is doing and what you can modify in it to make it work and customize it for your version. So I will just gonna replace that, and in here you have some constants that it's the script name and the endpoint. And in here what you can do is to change this dr path and dra with your own details if you want. For me, I will let them like this. And the other thing that you will need to change in case you are self-hosting Plausible is to add your own domain in here with the domain that you are hosting Plausible on. So you need to change it in here and in here. But yeah, for this test I will just let it like this. So after you are doing your modifications, we're gonna hit save and deploy. And right now you should have a worker for this created, and with Cloudflare free plan you can have up to 100,000 requests per day for these workers. So in here you see that you have the worker, and what we're going to do next is to see that our script is working. And to do that we are gonna just open this and we are going to add our details. So it was like dr, and in here it was script.js, and this should return the plausible scripts, and you see that this returned the plausible script. So this it's working. So right now the worker is functional, it is serving the plausible script. And what we should do next is to add a route to use our own domain for this. So you see in here that you have all the code, you have the checks, and in here let's go and add the proxy route for this worker. So to do that, you are going to open the worker and pages, and in here you have the worker, and in here you have the routes. You can do view, and in here you see that you will have one route, and you need to add a new route. And in here you will need to add a root with a subdirectory for this. And if we're going to check the details in here, you can use what name you want in here. For instance, in here for this test I've used the one, and basically you will need to put your domain that we're gonna serve these scripts in here, and with the one. So for instance, in my case I'm using this for bitdos.com, and what you need to do in here is to go and just copy this, and in here you change the domain with bitdos.com like this, and in here in the zone you should choose your domain. In my case it will be bitdos.com, and you will just need to click add root. I will not going to do that because I already did it. I can show it to you, but after you should be set. So in here you see, for instance, if we're going to check this worker, you see that it is functional, and in here you're gonna see the roots, and this it's using the root that I've just specified in here, that is pointing to my domain. And what this means, it means that every time when someone will access the bitdos.com / the one, and then the dr/script.js, it will be pointing to the script. And yeah, to add it to the domain, you just need to go into the header and add this script in there. So it will be the script, it will be with defer data domain, it will be your domain that you want to track, and you have used it in the zones. For the data you are gonna use the data API, and in here you have the subdomain, and then you have the DRA, this is for the API event, and in here for the source you have the subdirectory, again with dr and scripts.js, what you have used in this section in here, and this should work fine. So right now, if for instance, if we're going to check this website that has all of this set up, in the source we're going to see that in the Plausible you'll have this added. So you see that the script it's in here, it's in the header, and in here you have the data API that is pointing, and in here you have the script. And if we're going to click the script, you'll see that this will not be sent to the domain that you are having Plausible on, and it will be served directly from your own domain. So yeah, in this way you are adding the proxy for the Plausible script. And if you are wondering about the limits and things like that, if we are going to check the worker and pages, in here you will see that, for instance, since I've added this this worker, I've had only about 500 requests in the last 24 hours. I don't have a lot of visitors on this website. There are like about 200 visitors a day. But yeah, you have a limit that it's 10,000 of requests that can be utilized for free per day. So it should be enough for most of the websites. In this way, you are adding Plausible through vProxy through Cloudflare workers. I hope you enjoyed the video. In case you liked what you have seen, please don't forget to like and subscribe.